What's up, you mad dogs? This is my full card prediction and breakdown video for this week's UFC Fight Night, headlined by Arnold Allen versus Melquizael Costa, back in the Apex once again. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still coming down from UFC 328. I'm absolutely stoked. We're living in the best possible timeline we can be right now. I mean, these little cards, they really make you appreciate how good those big numbered events really are. Don't get me wrong, there's some fun matchups here on this card this weekend, but it just doesn't quite compare, you know? You get what I'm saying. Let's jump right into the breakdown. I don't want to draw this one out too long. First fight of the night. We got a toilet break, boys. We haven't had one for a couple of weeks. We had to fit a couple in here, okay? Shauna, Bannon versus Nicolle, Caliari. I'm going to pick Nikolay Caliari here. It's a bit of a tough one. Neither has really shown too much promise. Caliari is yet to win in the UFC, so I don't know if her being a favorite here is maybe the right. I feel like this should be pretty even, this fight, to be honest. Shauna Bannon, she's coming off of a submission loss to Sam Hughes. Before that, she almost got fucking flatline KO'd. But then armbarred Pooja Tomar. It's Indian women's MMA prospect. She hasn't looked great. She's a stand-up girl. She's going to be wanting to strike with you. She doesn't want to fuck around on the ground. Whereas Nicolle Caliari, she's going to mix in the grappling. She's going to chase those submissions. She does have a 100% finish rate. Now, all in regionals, yes. Like I mentioned, no win in the UFC just yet. But I think she can get this fight to the ground, and I honestly think she's going to be able to sub out Shauna Bannon. I know Sam Hughes can be a bit of a problem for a lot of girls in on the come up. She can give a lot of problems. She's fairly experienced, so I don't want to say that Caliari is on the same level as a Sam Hughes, and that's why she's going to sub her. But I just feel like Bannon doesn't have the grappling to stop her from doing so. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It could really go either way with this one, but I'm going to say Caliari gets a submission. I don't want to spend too long on it, all right? Moving on, we have a flyweight bout, Daniel Barez versus Louis Gurule. I'm going to go with Daniel Barez here. I feel like he's going to win a split decision or a unanimous decision. You got Barez, who's the more experienced guy here. He's been around for a little bit longer. He's got more fights on his resume, and again, neither of these guys have really showed too much promise. I'm just taking Barez on the fact that he's a bit more experienced. I think he brings a bit more to the table as far as output and more well-roundedness, I guess. He can mix in the grappling if he wants to. He's got knockouts and subs. Louis Gurule, he's a bit of a high pace, high output kind of dude. Not great anywhere specifically. I mean, he hasn't won in the UFC yet. Who's he coming off a loss to? Alden Correa, but I think Alden Correa is pretty good. So it's not like the worst, but before that, he lost to someone else, and then O'Day Osborne as well. He got knocked out by him. I just feel like Louis Gurule is not that good. I don't know. I just feel like he's not that good, and I feel like they both bring a kind of even stand-up and an even ground game. Maybe Barez is a bit more dangerous on the ground with submissions, whereas Gurule might have more of a wrestling and control approach on the ground when it comes to it. I just think Barez is going to be able to outwork Gurule slightly on the numbers, on the output. Do a little bit of damage, maybe threaten some submissions here and there if it does go to the ground, and pull off a unanimous decision or a split decision win. That's going to be my pick, Daniel Barez. Moving on, we have another one, boys. Ardelean versus Polyana Viana. In this fight, I'm going to go with Ardelean. This might be rogue, but I'm going to say she wins a submission as well. I feel like Polyana, she's a bit of a finish or bust. She does have a 100% finish rate. She's been finished a bunch, submitted a bunch. She's lost a few fights. Never looked all that dangerous at moments, but since getting into the UFC, she hasn't really shown that, the drive hasn't been there. She's more focused on how she looks in the IG posts, I feel like. She's more of one of those ones, Ardelean, she comes in with a good high output approach. She's very aggressive, high pressure on the feet. She's going to be landing constant pace and pressure on you, She's going to be working that jab, putting the fucking strikes on you. Nothing too deadly, but she'll put it on you and won't give you a break. She's happy to be in the octagon. She seems to love to fight. And she can mix in the grappling too. She's got decent takedown defense. And she has subs under her belt. I think that with this fight, Polyana being someone who's happy to take this to the ground, even if it's her pulling guard and going straight to her back, she's happy to do that. I think Ardelean's going to look a lot better than her on the feet. We could maybe see some danger here if it does go to the ground, because Viana does have a lot of submissions under her belt. She's obviously very dangerous on the ground. So I feel like if it does go to the ground, there is going to be some concern there. But I actually think Ardelean's going to be able to pull off a submission, get her to the ground, or follow her to the ground if she pulls guard, work her way to a position where she can find a submission and pull that off. Viana hasn't given me anything to go by where I can consciously pick her, Where Ardelean, she looked alright in her last fight. She had a good output in that fight, and she won in pretty dominant fashion too. So, moving on. He's back. He's back again, boys. He's fucking back. Cody Brundage is back to fight again this week. When I seen this fight on the list when I started doing this breakdown the other day, I was just cheesing, okay? Cody Brundage is fucking back and he's fighting Andre Petroski. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to pick Cody Brundage to win this fight, and I'm going to say he gets it done by knockout in the first or second round. Bro, I mean, he's a brawler. He can be bullied a bit. Yeah, absolutely. He can be bullied around the cage a bit by some of these more physical guys. Some guys that are frame mogging him. But he's pretty tough and he's hard to put out, He's hard to put out. He can stay in the fight and last. He's given a lot of people troubles in their fights. He's coming off of a close loss by split decision to Dante Johnson, who was supposed to be a pretty decent prospect, and he's a real kind of physical presence himself. Weird little build, but he's very dense and strong, And he really struggled with Cody Brundage. Mansour Abdul Malik as well really struggled with Cody Brundage for 2 rounds. That fight ended up coming back as a draw rather than the round 3 TKO, which was because of a headbutt, I believe. And he's really good at that too. Just cockroach maxing his way to a fucking no contest or a draw. The fight's like not going his way somehow. He's good at just curling up into a ball and taking a few shots to the back of the head just so he can pull that one off somehow. He's done it a couple of times. And then we've got Andre Petroski. This dude's chinny as fuck. He got knocked out by the hip bone of Jacob Malkoum when he was shooting in for a takedown on him. He got knocked out by that, which is crazy. He's coming off of another knockout loss to Cam Roaston, who also beat Cody Brundage, but it took Roaston a lot longer to get Brundage out of there. And Brundage actually gave Rouston some troubles. Rouston, however you say it. I'm pretty sure it's Rouston. He gave him some troubles, man. He did give him some troubles. So I feel like this is going to be a Cody Brundage win. I do. Andre Petroski will want to mix in the wrestling at times, and I don't think he's going to have that much success here because Brundage has good counter wrestling. He's got the grappling ability of his own, so I think he's going to be able to hold up there. And I think that's going to kind of cancel out. And we're going to see a bit of a fisticuffs. Little bit of a fisticuffs on the feet. And I think Cody Brundage can bomb him and put him out. Honestly, round 1 or 2 knockout, Cody Brundage. That's what I'm going with. I can't believe I'm saying it, but that's what I'm going with. Moving on. I told you they were fitting him in. We haven't had one for a couple of weeks, okay? Ketlen Vieira versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I'm going with Jacqueline Cavalcanti to win this fight. Vieira's fought more top competition. She's the more experienced girl. She's been around for a lot longer. Cavalcanti, she's the prospect coming up. Good distance striker. Has a good output, good defense, good takedown defense, and striking defense. I feel like all the momentum is on the side of Cavalcanti here. Vieira, she's had some close ones here and there. She's coming off of a... Was it the Norma Dumont fight? I believe it was. It's a close fight with Norma Dumont. And you could have even scored that fight her way, to be honest with her. But other than that, I mean, she's crafty. She's been around, so I can see this being close, and I can see Ketlen Vieira getting around here. But I think Cavalcanti's going to win on the fact that she's going to be able to outwork her, outland her in the striking, probably land her a little bit more damage. And I think she's going to be able to keep this fight off the ground. She's got pretty decent takedown defense. But we'll see. We'll see. We've had this happen a lot where, you know, the women's MMA, it can be a little bit funny to pick at times. And sometimes these prospects don't just quite live up to what they're meant to be. Even though Ketlen Vieira isn't, you know, I don't know. Cavalcanti by decision. Unanimous decision, 29-28. That's what I'm going to go with for this one. Moving on. We have Thomas Gantt versus Artur Minev. This is interesting. Now, Thomas Gantt was meant to fight someone else, Trey Ogden. Ogden has pulled out, and now he's got a short notice replacement, about a week's notice, in Artur Minev. And this dude's also undefeated. I think he's not 0-0. I think he's maybe 7-0, 8-0, something like that. He's not a slouch. I feel like he's not a slouch. Watching a little bit of tape on this dude, he seems to be a pretty physical striker. Looks like he's going to want to keep it on the feet. He's got a lot of like one-shot knockout, just out cold, bombing cunts, putting them out. He's pretty composed as well. Takes his time to set up the shots. Like I said, very physical, very dense by the looks of it. And I feel like he could bring in some troubles for a Thomas Gantt here. He trains at Syndicate MMA as well, so he's got a good team behind him. This could be danger. But we are looking at Tommy Gantt, who had a very good win on Dana White's Contender Series. Daniel Cormier is right up the arse of this dude. Can't stop blowing smoke out of him. I mean, does that even make sense what I just said? I don't know. I don't care. He's a really good wrestler. He's going to bring the takedowns. He's relentless with the takedowns. I didn't take him much in his Contender Series fight, but I'm pretty sure he's got like a stat in his regional scene, like overall fights, like 10 takedown attempts per 15 minutes, which does worry me that maybe on the feet he could have some problems, and especially with a real dangerous dude like Artur Minev. That's where that worry is coming from. So if he can't get this fight to the ground, we could see some issues here. But I think he's going to get this fight to the ground. I am going to go with Thomas Gantt here. I'm going to say he wins a round 1 submission. I'm sensing like maybe not so much. Yeah. I was going to say I'm sensing like what's his name? Josiah, the dude who fought Josiah Harrell. Well, how can I remember Josiah Harrell's name, but not Jacoby Smith? What the fuck? It was giving me, I was thinking of that, but to be honest, I feel like Jacoby Smith's a lot more athletic and vicious with the ground and pound. But Tommy Gantt does have TKOs on the record as well, so I think he's going to get this fight to the ground, and I think he's going to sub out Artur Minev. But it doesn't come without a little bit of worry. This dude seems like not a slouch, like someone they would normally bring in for a spot like this, you know? Thomas Gantt, there's a lot of hype behind him. He's got a very, very strong wrestling background. And I think he's going to put that to work here. And he's going to find his way to a submission early in the first round. That's going to be my pick for that fight. Moving on to the feature prelim bout. Tuco Tokkos, mate. Tokkos, mate. Coming up against Ivan Erslan. This, man, I don't know why, but I've been fence sitting this shit. Tokkos, mate. I was almost going to pick him. I am worried that Tokkos is going to be able to get this fight to the ground and fucking sub out Erslan, but I don't think he's the type of grappling threat that a Jimmy Crute is, who just beat Ivan Erslan by submission in the first round. Erslan hasn't won in the UFC yet. I am going to pick him to win. I'm going to pick him to win by knockout as well in the first round. It's tough. Neither of these guys have showed. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's no promise here, you know? There's not much promise here, okay? Tokkos, he had a fight with Ming Yang Zhang earlier on Road to UFC. He got bombed out cold badly, took some bad follow-up shots in that fight as well. I feel like the chin is probably not real good based off of how he went out in that fight. And you've got a guy in Ivan Erslan who is quite devastating on the feet with his striking once he gets it going. He's got good power, a lot of knockouts on the record, 2 submission losses. And Tokkos, he's happy to mix in some grappling. He will mix in some grappling. He's got more of a pressure-based approach. Will mix in the grappling. Will go for submissions. He's coming off a submission win over Junior Tafa, who just recently got a pretty good win. And he was able to survive in that fight. And Tafa is very dangerous. So it does get me a little bit worried here. But I think Erslan's a little bit better in the grappling than a Junior Tafa. He did have a close fight with Iwan Kutalaba, who subbed out Umar Sai, who subbed out Tuco Tokkos. Umar Sai subbed out Tokkos. Kutalaba subbed out Sai. And Erslan lost a split decision to Kutalaba. Okay? It was a close fight. And Kutalaba couldn't really get his grappling going. He got some takedowns and he had a couple of moments, but couldn't find the sub. Kutalaba has improved since then, though. So I don't know. That's why. Can you see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm saying here? I'm flipping it in my head, but I am going to go with Ivan Erslan here. I think he's going to be able to bomb Tokkos out cold. Tokkos submission isn't out of the fucking realm of possibilities, okay? Ivan Erslan by knockout round 1. That's my pick. Moving on to the main card, Nikolay Veretennikov versus Chaos Williams. I'm going to go with Nikolay Veretennikov. Chaos Williams looked fucking terrible in his last fight. As respectful as you can say that. He didn't look good in his last fight against Andreas Gustafsson, who after that came out and got knocked out with a jab in about 10 seconds. 30 seconds or so. Didn't look good. And that loss hasn't aged well. So I'm going to pick Nikolay Veretennikov. I feel like this is going to be a standout battle. Both of these guys have had troubles with the grappling in the past, being able to be controlled or held down and found vulnerable in certain positions. Williams has been subbed out by Gabriel Bonfim, which is, look, it's not the worst loss. Veretennikov, he got taken down by Austin Vanderfoot and TKO'd. I mean, I've never been a big believer of Veretennikov, to be honest. He is a very physical dude. He has good power. He's very dangerous on the feet. He just knocked out Nico Price in a minute and a half. But it's Nico Price of today. You should be doing that, you know? This is another one I've been back and forth on. It is, but I do just look at that last performance from Chaos Williams, and it kind of gets me thinking: is he in it? Is he all the way in this? Because I'm pretty sure he's got stuff going on the outside. He's got other shit to think about. Uh is the fighting the most important thing to him right now? In general, in life, you know? Veretennikov is from Kazakhstan, I think. Kazakhstani, I believe. I think he's going to knock out Chaos Williams. Both of these guys get hit a lot. I think this will be a good fight, to be honest with you. I think this will just be a slugfest. Both guys swinging heat, back and forth. And I think we're going to see a KO, probably either way, to be honest with you. But I am going to lean to the side of Veretennikov. I think he's going to be able to put it on him, put him down. Round number 2. That's going to be my pick. Moving on. Fucking hell. Ben's sitting this one as well. Timothy Kwamba versus Bernardo Sopage. This is an interesting little matchup. I feel like both of these guys, they do all right in the striking. I feel like Sopage is going to want to mix in the grappling a little bit more than a Kwamba. But Kwamba has shown to have good defensive grappling and good defensive wrestling. He's coming off of 2 wins in a row. He got a nasty flying knee knockout over Roberto Romero or something like that. And then since that, beat a Choi, another one of those Koreans, Min Chu Min. That's borderline getting racist there, so I'll stop right there. Fuck. Lost my train of thought there. I'm going with Bernardo Sopage to win this fight. I think he's going to pull off a decision. Again, I could see this one going either way. I could. But I think Sopage is going to have a bit more output. I feel like Kwamba sometimes finds himself on the back foot looking for those counters. He does a pretty good job of it, and he lands good damage when he does go for it. But it's just the lack of output there, man. I feel like it lets him down. It's let him down a few times before in fights. He had a close fight with Balaji Oki. And Oki's all right. I mean, he's pretty tough. And he's very dangerous as well. He had a close fight with him and then followed up with a loss to Lucas Almeida, which, when you think of it, just thinking of the name, like, that dude's not good at all. I think he might even be cut from the UFC now. But that was up a weight class, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that was up at lightweight or up at featherweight. And he's a bantamweight. He's a small bantamweight too. He's not the biggest dude. So he's coming off a good win over Ricky Tercios as well, where he had a good output across the whole fight. He does slow down into the 3rd round a bit. He was fucking gassed to the gills against Vinicius Oliveira in that 3rd round, which led to him getting sent to the Shadow Realm with a flying knee from fucking hell. But that's another fight. I don't think Kwamba's going to put that kind of pressure on that a Vinicius Oliveira is going to be. He's constantly in your face and shit. Whereas Kwamba's more on the back foot. He's going to wait for you to come in and wait for you to counter you, you know? So I don't think Sopage is going to be dealing with so much late cardio problems as he has before in other fights. And yeah, Sopage, he's going to win the decision, okay? I was back and forth on that one too. Moving on, Modestas Bukauskas versus Christian Edwards. Bukauskas wins this fight by knockout in the 1st round. He was meant to fight Rodolfo Bellato. I was going to pick Rodolfo Bellato to win that fight too. A little bit devastated because I feel like that was a pretty good underdog pick coming in, because Bukauskas, he can fumble a fight. He's coming off of a 3rd round knockout loss to Nicolle. No, I was about to say Veretennikov. What's his name? Ukrainian dude. Krylov. Nikita Krylov. Coming off of a 3rd round knockout loss to him. He's top level. Christian Edwards coming in short notice, about a week again, same as the last dude that was on short notice here. He's a striker. By the looks of it, I'm going to be honest, I didn't look too much into him. He's been knocked out in the first round before by someone with the nickname Big Tuna. And visibly, let's just say he didn't look like a fighter. The Big Tuna. That was enough. That was enough for me to be like, okay, this dude's getting knocked out in the first round. Bukauskas can be very dangerous with his straight shots. He can lack output at times. So I could perhaps see this fight go on a little bit longer than it needs to. But I do think Bukauskas will find that knockout shot eventually and put Christian Edwards down. Possibly a flat line. Let's see what happens. All right. Moving on. This is an interesting matchup. This is the featured fight of the night. Malcolm Wellmaker is back after his loss to Ethan Ewing. And that loss has aged good. It has. Ethan Ewing seems to be quite the fucking prospect. And he's facing another prospect here. He is. Juan Diaz is coming off the Dana White Contender Series win last year. Brutal. And I mean, absolutely brutal spinning elbow knockout win on the Contender Series. Go and watch that fight back if you haven't seen it. It's a pretty fun fight to watch. I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it, man. Right, just go watch the whole fucking Contender Series back from last year. There was so many fun fights on that shit, man. It was crazy. I'm gonna pick Malcolm Wellmaker to win. I am. Juan Diaz, 15-1. It's a pretty good record. A little bit of a decision guy. He doesn't have that many finishes on the record, even though he did have a brutal knockout on the Contender Series. He's got finishes, don't get me wrong, but it's more so decisions than anything. And you got Malcolm Wellmaker, devastating counterpuncher. That check hook is just lethal, absolutely lethal. He's put a bunch of people out with it. And I think he's going to find the mark here. I think he's going to find Juan Diaz's chin. Juan Diaz, he's got more of a pressure-based output. He will mix in takedowns. High volume striking, not so much power. Crazy that you say that when he's fucking knocking Gantt out with spinning elbow in the second round. I know how that sounds when I say he's just had one of the most brutal knockouts fucking last year. But he is more of a high volume, high pace output kind of dude, you know? And Malcolm Wellmaker, he is decent. And I don't want to take too much away from him after that Ethan Ewing loss. Short notice, new opponent. I don't want to make excuses for him here because Ethan Ewing is very fucking good. So I think Malcolm Wellmaker is still pretty decent. And I think he's going to be able to find the chin of a Juan Diaz here. And I think he's going to put him out in round number 2. That's what I'm going to go with here. Malcolm Wellmaker. I trust in the bloke to get it done, all right? Moving on to the co-main event. Doo Ho Choi versus Daniel Santos. This should be a fucking fun fight. This should be a fun little matchup. I'm going to go with Daniel Santos here. And I'm going to say he gets it done by knockout. Doo Ho Choi, I mean, he's a bit older now. I think he's about 35, I want to say, even though he still looks young as fuck. He's fucking Asian genes, man. It's crazy. And he's had some wars. He's had some absolute fucking wars. War with Cub Swanson, which is in the fucking Hall of Fame. You all know it. Some crazy fights across the career. Had a little break, I think, at one point to go to the fucking Korean military or something. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm fucking... Please fact check me on that. Daniel Santos. I feel like Doo Ho Choi is going to be the more clean fighter. Whereas Daniel Santos brings in that kind of bite down on the mouthpiece, grit, fucking brawler style. He gets hit a bit, but he throws heaters. Absolute heaters. He's got good power in the hands. And he's coming off of a very good win over Ju Sang Yu, the Zombie Junior dude, who was... He was walking around in that fight with his hands down way too much. He was way, way, way too cocky and confident. And it got him caught. It did. But Daniel Santos is going to catch you if you're going to have a stand-up fist fight with him. He's going to catch you with some stuff. And I feel like I just don't really trust the chin of Doo Ho Choi at this point in his career. With so much damage built up over time in all those wars, a couple of knockouts here and there, a knockout to Jeremy Stevens at one point, a knockout to Charles Jourdain. I feel like the damage add up is something to note here. Even though I feel like he'll probably look good early on, I think he's going to be quick. This is going to be a pretty good fight to get going to start with. But I do think Daniel Santos will eventually start making a bit more of an uglier fight. And then I think he's going to find that shot, put him down and follow up with the ground and pound to find a TKO win. I'm going to say he gets it done in the second round as well. Let's go. 2 round 2 knockouts in a row, boys. We hit some crazy fucking props last week, even though across the board, we're kind of even on picks, but we hit some crazy props, all right? Let's try and hit some more this week, okay? Moving on to the main event. It's not going to click. It's not going to let me open it. How great that it is. Clicking on the wrong screen. You fucking tard. I've seen a bit of, what would you call it? I feel like a lot of tension between fans of these two dudes this week. I don't know what it is, the argument on this fight. People saying that Costa will win are calling, people are saying that Allen will win crazy and vice versa. To put it lightly. I don't know what that is. I think this is a good matchup. I am going to go with Arnold Allen here. I am a big fan of Melquizael Costa though, so I'm not going to be mad if I get this one wrong. But I think there's a few things you can look at here. Arnold Allen, tough as nails. I'm going to be surprised if Melky Costa comes in here and head kick KOs him. I'm going to be surprised if Melquizael Costa comes in and finishes Arnold Allen at all across 5 rounds. I'll be very, very surprised. And if he does, there's a serious fucking problem in the featherweight division coming up. But we have seen Melky Costa run into troubles before in his career. Early on, he had a knockout loss to Steve Garcia, where he kind of just got overwhelmed in the second round and got put down, and then, the rest is history. He has a submission loss to Thiago Moises at one point as well. But since that, he's been on a tear, an absolute tear, and he's been looking good, improving a lot. I feel like every time he does come out, we do see a lot of improvement from him. So that is good here, and I don't think it's impossible that he wins this fight, despite the fact that I am picking Arnold Allen. I don't think it's impossible that Melky Costa wins this fight, but I will be surprised if he just flatlines Arnold Allen with a head kick. I will be fucking shocked, okay? Arnold Allen. Close-ish fight with Movsar Evloev, who's fighting for the belt. Coming off a very, very close fight with Gene Silva, who is good. Gene Silva is good. Very dangerous on the feet. Arnold Allen had a very, very good first round against him and kind of let it get away from him after that, which he can do. Some of these guys who have a bit more of like an elusive striking approach, dangerous counters and whatnot, I feel like they do give him problems. Obviously, you got Gene Silva and then Max Holloway. The fight with Evloev was very close. He had a good third round in that fight. Costa, on the other hand, I don't think he brings that same kind of striking style that's going to give Arnold Allen those same kind of problems. He uses a lot of kicks. He's very kick-heavy game. And I think that in a 5-round fight, this will be his first 5-round fight too, by the way. Whereas Arnold Allen has been 5 rounds with Holloway. I feel like that kick-heavy game in a 5-round fight is going to slow you down a lot the more the fight goes on. He smashes kicks, so he's very dangerous with it, and he's been improving a lot in his striking, and he can mix in the grappling too. He can mix in the grappling and sub you out. I don't really see that playing a part here. His grappling control isn't like anything crazy, and Ardelean has that ability as well, so I feel like that's probably gonna we will probably see some scrambles here and a bit of clinch time up against the cage and whatnot, but I don't expect to see a whole lot of scrambles on the ground and takedowns and control time on the ground and whatnot, stuff like that. I do expect to see a bit of clinch work mixed in from both guys. They both like to mix in the clinch at times, and I just think Ardelean's going to look better the more this fight goes on. I do. I think he's going to start landing his shots a lot more. I think we're going to see Costa slow down after that first round, after that second round. And as we get into that third and fourth round, I think we're going to start to see Costa running into some troubles on the feet, panic shooting some takedowns at times. Julian Erosa. Now I go back to this each time. The last two times Costa has fought, because it was 3 fights ago when he fought Julian Erosa. The last two times I've gone to this thought and mentioned it. I've picked Costa in his last 2 fights. I can hold up, but I've gone there. I've brought up the thought that Julian Erosa did keep it very fucking close with Melky Costa. That is a worry. That is a worry for me. I'm going to say Ardelean wins this fight by knockout, TKO, round 3 or 4. Close fight to start with. Good back and forth, I'm expecting. But as the fight goes on, I think we see Ardelean to start having a bit more success in the striking, start landing those bigger shots. And Allen's going to be moving around a lot more. I think he's going to be able to make Costa miss with those kicks early on, because he does have very good footwork, Allen. He's very good at moving around the cage and making him miss with his shots. And I think that's going to tire out Costa after a while. Even though moving around and that's always going to tire you out too, but I just think he's going to make Costa work. And I think the longer this fight goes on, we're going to see a slowed down Costa each round he comes out. And in that third or fourth round, I think we're going to see some combinations start to unload for Ardelean, where he's going to be able to find that shot and put Costa down and find his way to a TKO. Maybe even like a fucking good old ground and fucking club and sub. Good old club and sub. Knock him down and chase him to the ground for a submission. It wouldn't be impossible. We pulled off a Bobby Green submission last week, all right? Anyways, Ardelean by knockout, round 3 or 4. That's going to be my pick for the main event. And that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you got to this point in the video, drop a like and a sub if you enjoyed. I appreciate you very much if you're here. Seriously. Thank you very much. Goodbye.